Welcome to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast, where we go behind the scenes and uncover the tactics and strategies top entrepreneurs are using to make more sales, dominate their markets, and how you can get those same results. Here's your host, Dave Woodward.
Welcome back to Funnel Hacker Radio. You guys are going to freak out today. This is going to be one of the funnest interviews I've done in a long time. I want to introduce you guys to Brian Page. Brian, welcome to the show.
Wow, Dave, thank you. It's awesome to be here, man. I'm really excited.
I am so excited. We connected at Genius Network just the earlier part of November here, and Brian was telling, I'd heard about Brian's story, but I hadn't put a name to a face. Brian is the creator of the B&B formula. He's a 2 Comma Club winner, which is totally impressive and awesome as it is. But the part that's probably the coolest part is I think he's the fastest 2 Comma Club winner we've had yet. And I believe, Brian, it was less than 60 days. Is that right?
Yes, it was less than 2 months from the time I launched my actual site on Clickfunnels.
Dude, that is just crazy, man. Seriously, it always cracks me up when people say, oh, it can't be done. It can't be done. I'm like, anytime you're telling me that, it's because someone else is already doing it and you're just sitting on the sidelines. So congratulations. And again, that was started in July, less than 5 months. Or what do you have, like 2.7 million? Is that right?
Yeah, we're approaching 3 million in sales just since the end of July. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. Well, tell people, what is B&B Formula?
Well, B&B Formula is an 8-week online video course, training course that teaches people how to build a 6 to 7 figure Airbnb business, which is something that I did myself before I got introduced to ClickFunnels. And so basically it walks them through in 2 months how to get up and running and how to do it without owning any properties whatsoever. You can do it using other people's properties, which is, something no one else teaches.
I'm not kidding you. The part that's so exciting to me every time I talk to you is like, you are like the poster child for expert secrets. Total new opportunity. No one's out there teaching this kind of stuff. There's a million different real estate get rich quick quasi type of things.
Yeah.
But no one's doing this. And the funnest part to me is the fact that you don't own any of the properties.
No, I don't. And that's the crazy thing. I have gotten, I remember, okay, let me go back because I remember I was at Funnel Hacking Live and that was beginning of the year. I don't know, when was the last one? I don't even remember the month. February. It was all a blur. So February, I went to Funnel Hacking Live and I remember Russell saying, "You're just one funnel away." And I thought, well, that's a really neat marketing slogan. But, I honestly didn't know if I believed it at the time. And holy crap. It's so true. It's like, I had created this course. I took 6 months out of my life to create this course. I did a big launch style, Jeff Walker style launch and promptly sold about 3 courses. And so I was like at the point where I was like, okay, I don't know if I should keep doing this or I should quit. And I said, you know what? I know I'm going to meet some quality people. I have a feeling I'll meet some quality people at this Funnel Hacking Live. And I went there and I just could not believe all the people. Everybody I sat next to was just like making, obscene amounts of money online because I would just ask people straight up, how much are you making? How much are you making? How much? I was just really rude about it. And everybody was doing well. And I was like, I can't believe this. And then the people got on stage that were the 2 Comma Club winners. And there were like, I don't know, 50 of them or something. It took forever all of these people that were like there. And I thought, wow, this really works. So maybe I'm missing something. And I got the pieces. I figured out what I was missing.
I love it. I was actually checking with Miles here in our office. I think you were number 161 or 62. So congratulations. Yeah, we've got over 175 people who've now made over $1 million using ClickFunnels. And again, I am so excited about your story because the part I love, again, it kind of goes back. First of all, huge plug for Funnel Hacking Live. Thank you. If you haven't bought your ticket for 2018 Funnel Hacking Live, get them because they're going out fast.
You have to go. I'm just telling you, you have to go if you're listening. It's like ridiculous value. I'm not getting paid anything to say this. It changed my freaking life. Just the people that I met in that room. It's so worth. I'm just telling you, I got to go.
Thank you.
And Dave did not tell me to say that, by the way.
We don't even have an affiliate program for Funnel Hacking Live tickets. No, but the part I really was so impressed is you, like many of our other winners, are just so willing to share and give. And I think it's part of the culture that we really strive to build a lot at ClickFunnels. But if you don't mind, tell people kind of, obviously you mentioned it, it's an 8-week online video training course, but tell people about the funnel. How is your funnel set up? What are you doing? How are you driving traffic? How do you do $1 million in less than 60 days? That's just crazy, crazy numbers.
Okay, absolutely. Well, my product is $1,000. That's what it costs to buy for the training course. And when I went to the Funnel Hacking Live, I didn't know what I was missing, but I started going around and asking people for their opinions. And I was actually, what I was doing is trying to approach only people that had the placard on that said, they have a little ribbon around their neck that says 2 Comma Club member. So I was like literally going around the room and just approaching these people. Hey, let me tell you about what I'm doing. Let me get your input. And I met some really, really interesting people there. One of them was Akbar Sheikh. He was amazing. And he told me, he said, dude, you've got the coolest idea I've ever heard for a product of anybody here. There's no reason you shouldn't go immediately go make millions of dollars with this idea. But he said, you're missing one thing. I said, what? He said, you need to do a webinar. And everybody kept saying webinar, webinar, webinar in for higher ticket items. And I heard that from the stage as well. And I didn't know what a webinar was. I didn't know how to do a webinar. I'd never done one before. So I literally had to go home and figure out how to create a webinar presentation. And I just literally, I pretty much locked myself in my house and I didn't do anything but figure out how to create that first webinar. And I had somebody reach out to me that wanted to JV with me to his list. And he said, I love your product. This is right before I went to Clickfunnels. And when I came back, I created the whole webinar presentation, the slides. This is about an hour and a half presentation. And then I came back, and this guy, I worked with him, and we did my very first webinar ever. We sold about $67,000 worth that first night. And I knew right then, I was like, okay, this is changing everything. Now I'm off to the races. And that's exactly what happened. And then the floodgates opened because everybody in the real estate world, all the gurus reached out to me because they're like, this is new. This is something we've never seen before. And I mean, big names like, I'm working with Dean Graziosi now on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I got to work with Ron LeGrand, who was a kind of a big, if you guys are in real estate, you know who these people are. He was a big, guy on TV and did a lot of courses back in the day. And everything just changed. And so my funnel, to go back to what my funnel is simply a registration for a webinar. They come on that webinar, and it's an hour and a half, and then it goes straight into the sales page, and that's it. That's the whole thing. There's nothing else to it. Now I do include coaching calls along with the course, which nobody ever does. So I do a monthly live coaching call with all my students, and that is included for an entire year worth of coaching calls with my course. So I give a tremendous amount of value for $1,000. I mean, it's just ridiculous because I know people can make money doing what I teach.
I tell you, that's one of the secrets people always forget is the fact you actually have to have a good product. So I think as awesome as ClickFunnels is, nothing is better than just having a great product, an amazing hook and offer, obviously, and the timing is just perfect. I think it's just fantastic to see. And again, I think the part I love as you take a look at your funnel is it's simple. It's just
very simple.
It's super simple. People go, no. You need to have all these ups and down sales and all these cross sales and all these different ways of coming in and out of the funnel. I'm like, if you take a look at Brian's, it literally is. It's what, I think 4 pages total. I mean, it's just. I
think it's 3. Okay, so they go there. There's a short little video. It says, "Hey, I'm Brian. Sign up for my free webinar." They choose a time. Then it goes to the thank you page. And then that's it. And then later on, they get an email and they click to the webinar and then they watch the webinar and then it takes them directly to the sales page. So you're right. There are 4 steps and that's it. I don't sell them anything before. I don't have any small cheap end front end product. I go straight into the product. But I can't take credit. I judiciously stole a lot of great ideas from people like Ty Lopez and Sam Ovens and other people that had done really good webinars and have done really well online. I just, even Frank Kern, who I got to meet about a week and a half ago, I borrowed a lot of things from his webinar. I just studied webinars and, just kind of borrowed what I could and then made it fit for my product. And ClickFunnels was the framework.
I think it's fantastic. So how are you driving traffic?
I have traffic from Facebook, but honestly, most of my sales have come through affiliates. Affiliates are very, very powerful. And I can't speak highly enough about affiliates because, you can tap into other people's lists because I didn't have much of a list when I started. So finding people in your niche or in your space, like real estate would be my space, even though it's technically not just real estate. I was able to get a few of those people on board and then they referred me to other people and then it just grew from there.
That's great. Did you do one with Joe McCall?
I did do one with Joe McCall. He did very well.
That is so fun because he actually reached out to me. I remember that as soon as you started saying you went through all these webinars, I'm like, I remember when Joe reached out to me. He's like, Dave, you've got to connect with Brian. I'm like, okay, for sure. I actually, Joe sent me the replay, and I had my son Parker, who actually does the all of my show notes for my podcast, go through it, and he's like, Dad, I want to do this. So I think if he hasn't purchased it, he will be purchasing it shortly here. He's got some other things he's trying to finish up first, but he goes, Dad, that's exactly what I want to do. I don't have to own any real estate. And I used to do a ton of real estate years ago, a lot of flipping houses and everything else. But man, you spend a lot of money owning these assets, and you're dealing with basically the time value of money, and it's ticking on you all the time. So no, I thought it was just fascinating. He goes, Dad, yeah, I don't have to own any real estate, and I can make 6 to 7 figures. Dad, do you think this is real? I'm like, well, first of all, it came from Joe McCall, so I would trust Joe with my life, greatest guy in the world. And so I'm like, I can guarantee you, Joe would not have vouched for it if it wasn't. And I think that's the part that's so cool about joint ventures, especially when you start working with some of the big names that you're mentioning. These are people who are well known and trusted. So my question for you is, how did you connect with these guys?
Well, it just started with affiliates. I got a couple good affiliates on board that did well and sold well to their people and to their lists, and then they introduced me to more people. But it was just honestly, this whole funnel and Clickfunnels and this whole product was just the tip of the iceberg for what's happening now, because all these people started reaching out to me. That just out of the blue, like a company approached me and said that they were doing a TV show for Netflix, and they were considering me as the host of the TV show. I had a company reach out to me that does live events. They're the largest live event company around the world, and they do live events for people like Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and even Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank is one of their biggest brands. And they said, we want to build a brand around you. We want to do live events around the world. So right now we're doing events across the U.S. and about to go international. And next week I'll be filming my infomercial, which will be on MSNBC, CNBC, Fox News. So I'll have a 30-minute infomercial on TV soon. I mean, it's just gone crazy. And I think it's because
6 months. I mean, it hasn't been 6 months.
It's 6 months, and it's crazy. I mean, yeah, like Dean Graziosi is, if you guys don't know who that is, he's a very well-known real estate teacher, and just teaches on success and business, and he's partners with Tony Robbins and a lot of big people, and he's been very, very generous to helping me because he's part of that whole organization. And so he's been on TV longer than anybody except Tony Robbins doing infomercials. So he's producing my infomercial, and that's going to lead in a whole nother funnel, which will be live event funnel. So now the product is going into live events, and that's going to be called B&B Wealth. So you can see how I'm owning the B&B name and B&B term. And I've just kind of planted my flag. I'm the guy. If you're into short-term rentals, short-term vacation properties, Airbnb, I'm the guy. And it's been a whirlwind. And I think it's been exciting. Yeah, it's all happened very, very quickly. But keep in mind, I did work on this for quite a while before I ever made any real money with it. So lest anybody think that they can do this in 60 days without having put in the work and the time, it doesn't work that way. You do have to actually go create a quality product and do all those things ahead of time. But I'm telling you, the funnel is the answer. The funnel is where it's at.
I absolutely, gosh, everything you said there, I can totally echo. It's fun. I've known Dean for quite a few years now. We've become really dear friends. And we actually are working with Dean probably in 2018 to do the first ClickFunnels infomercial. So we're looking at...
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Infomercials is interesting because very few people are doing them anymore. It's not as crowded as a space as it used to be. And so, and yes, a lot of people are not watching TV anymore, but it still works. There are still plenty of people that are on TV, and you can do these infomercials for less than you ever could in the past. And they work. They just absolutely work.
That is so cool. We actually are working with him, actually his team, the one you're referring to, does the live events on creating a live event funnel utilizing ClickFunnels. So being able to,
all right.
So you might be one of the guinea pigs. I don't know if we'll have it done in time for yours rolling out, but no, we've actually been toying around with that, utilizing funnels basically from the infomercial or from radio or TV ads going directly into the funnel, either through text or phone call or email or messenger, a whole bunch of different things we're looking at playing around with. So it's a fascinating space. Live events it's kind of one of those, again, I've seen this cycle. I was talking to Dean about this at Genius Network, and just to see how everything comes and goes. And live events were just dead for like from 2009, 10 to like 2014, 15. And now they're starting to really come up. And I mean, we're seeing the same thing just in the event space. And it's fascinating to see how people are trying to do different, some unique things in the live event space, and also from radio and TV. And we're working with Brendan Bouchard on some other things that he's doing. So it's again, super
awesome.
fascinating. Love seeing the funnel, especially when you start looking at the live event space. Obviously, it always comes back to, what's your cost to acquire a customer and what's your average cart value. To the main metrics we always pay a ton of attention to. And so I'll be very, very interested in continuing to talk to you more about what your cost is to acquire a customer, and what your average cart value is on that as well for the B&B Wealth. That's going to be really a new product. Hopefully we'll have, you can be one of our first eight-figure members here. So I think you'll crush it with that. That's going to be really a fun space.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because we were actually just talking about that recently. Because I'm going to be doing a launch. So next year, my product won't be available all the time. It'll actually be a launch, like what I tried the first time that didn't work. And so we'll get everybody on board, and we'll pick one date, and that'll be the date that we promote, a huge event. And I think it will be. I think it will be pretty big. I mean, we got some of the people on board that helped with Amazing Selling Machine, and that did I heard they did hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. I don't know if that's true, but they did a ridiculous amount in sales.
Are you with Jason? Jason?
Yeah. Well, actually, Rapid Crush. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Jason,
and some other big people as well. Jason, I got to see at the event that Genius Network. So so we're hoping that this is kind of like, what Amazing Selling Machine was for Amazon. This could be for Airbnb and for home sharing. And that's kind of the direction we're trying to go in. So it's very, very exciting. It's something that people want. It's something that people, they know they can make money, but they don't really know how to build a big business doing this. And so that's kind of where I step in.
Oh, I love it. Well, as we get close to wrapping things up here, what advice would you have for those people who are listening?
Okay, the advice I would tell you is that your network is your net worth. I've heard that. That's not a quote I made up. That's a quote I've heard, but it's so true. And everything changed for me when I changed my network. And by that, I mean the people that I know, the people that I can personally call on the phone. And these are the people that I met at the Funnel Hacking Live event. And I never would be able to meet those people, get them on the phone, have them help me, give those breakthroughs that I needed unless I went there and actually met them. And so you, first of all, need to get in front of a bunch of people, a bunch of 2 Comma Club members, people that are successfully making money online. You can do that at that event that we're talking about, which is coming up here in a few months. And you'll get to meet them, and then you can get distinctions. I mean, I learned things at that event from successful people that were just like 1 or 2 aha moments where I'm like, oh, if I do that, then I'll break through. And that's exactly what happened for me. So I would say your network is very, very, very important. And getting those people, getting to know those people. And there's a great way to do that is live. And then, of course, using Clickfunnels, using something to build everything on. Don't try to get complicated and model other people. Look at exactly other people, what they're doing that works. Look at what I'm doing. I mean, I don't care. Funnel hack me. Look at what I'm doing with my webinar and use the same thing. In fact, somebody just sent me an email and said, somebody just copied your webinar, Brian, that looks exactly like your format, and they're selling a different product. And I said, that's okay. I copied something else. I mean, that's just the way it works, right? I mean, I've seen people now that have used, several people that have used the same verbiage and the same style that I use, and that's fine. I don't care. It's like Steve Jobs says, good artists copy, great artists steal. And, if Steve Jobs can say that, then I'm sure we can all borrow heavily from other people. And so that's what I would say. Model people and build your network. Start meeting people personally and getting to know them, and invest in yourself. I mean, I spent a good chunk of money with some experts to learn from them, and not only with Clickfunnels and going to the events, but also just individuals that could teach me things quickly. I wanted to buy speed. I would rather have somebody download all their information, years of knowledge into my head in a matter of a few days and get that speed than to figure it out on my own. And so I've invested tens of thousands of dollars in myself, and I think that's very important as well.
Man, those are like awesome 3 secrets there. First of all, obviously, number 1, network is your net worth. Number 2, attend live events. And number 3, invest in yourself, buy speed. Love that. Great takeaways. Well, if people want to get a hold of you, Brian, what's the best way of reaching out to you?
Yeah, you can go to meetbrianpage.com if you want to, go to my direct website, or you can go to B&B Formula. That's B, N as in Nancy, B, Formula, bnbformula.com if you want to see my webinar, see my funnel, see how it's all set up. Just register and you'll be able to go through and see the entire presentation. And those are the two main websites. There's contact information on both of those. There's also an 800 number you can call on the B&B Formula site. So you can reach out to me either place. And then I'm on Facebook and Instagram at bpagester. BPageSter, and I do a live vlog every week. It's just business wisdom, life wisdom, talking about the books that I'm reading, all that kind of stuff. I do that every Tuesday. In fact, I just did one an hour ago. So if you want to follow me there and get some free content, there's no opt-in, there's no sales, it's none of that. I just give out wisdom and things that I'm learning, and it's a great way to learn from somebody who's done it.
I love it. Gosh, Brian, thank you so much. Appreciate again, love hearing of all your success. Thank you so much for all that you continue to share and give. And I wish you all the continued success and look forward to seeing you real soon.
Yes, Dave, and I will see you at Funnel Hacking Live. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be on here. It's an absolute privilege, and I encourage everybody out there, do not quit. Keep going. You will get there, and I wish you the best of success with what you do.
Sounds great, bud. We'll talk soon.
All right, bye.
Thanks for listening to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast. If you'd like to be notified anytime we release a new episode, just subscribe over at funnelhackerradio.com. In addition to that, we'd love to send you a free gift. You can find that free gift at funnelhackerradio.com/free trial. One last thing is we love giving away cars. So if you'd like access to a free dream car, all you have to do is go to funnelhackerradio.com/dream car and you'll get all the details. Thanks again for listening.